Welcome to Blairgowrie, one of the most charming, creative and adventurous towns in the heart of Scotland. Its cultural centre, the Well Meadow, touches all corners of town. And for a town that focuses on looking forwards, there's something reassuringly old-fashioned about this place. Even though today we're in a much smaller part of the world, you still get this feeling that this place is trying to offer you something not found in a typical city. And I think it's a connection to things made and grown locally. The best ways to experience slow travel in Blairgowrie is through meetings and exchanges with local craftspeople. And so, I'm exploring Nest, an open studio across the road from the bench I was just sitting on. It sits literally on the edge of the Blairgowrie Bridge. This building, built in 1890, was known as Temperance Hotel and Coffee House. But the locals, they simply referred to it as the Blair Hotel. Fast forward to today and you'll discover the master weaver himself, Ashleigh, handcrafting unique Scottish tartan. He loves this town and he devoted his own tartan to it, and I'm here to discover why. So you were born and raised in Derbyshire?
I was born and raised in Derbyshire, so for my sins I'm either adopted Scottish now or I'm still an outsider.
You know, of all the places that you could have went to, why Blair?
And the reason why we moved to Blairgowrie was just out of the beauty of a place.
Yeah.
We were looking for somewhere to be near Dundee, so I could attend university, and also finding something that's got the most suitable accommodation. It's not easy trying to look for a house that's accessible for wheelchair. Depends how you look on it. People call it fate, people call it providence. But we've been here since 2006 and we've decided to stay. Everybody's friendly around here. There's a lot of shops that still have the odd step, but we can get past that and just bang on the window and somebody will come out and see you. But it's getting more accessible in Blair. I don't face a lot of problems. I have seen worse towns and I have seen worse places. So it's not too bad with accessibility here.
It's really good that you managed to find this place, because this place has proven to be so important in what you do now. You know the people that you've met, the relationships that you've built up with the local farmers. You know, you've managed to create your own tweed for one of the local farmers, Melanie Thompson of Thomas Thompson Farms. Now that was a berries and cherries. How did this all come about? What's the story here?
So basically, the Blairgowrie berries and cherries, which is we're starting here. It was initially woven. Now I think it's on its 5th anniversary now. But initially it was woven with Thomas Thompson. We got together and we kind of combined the ideas of the berries and cherries of the fruits, so it contains all the colours of the industry of the Thomas's fruit growing company. And Melanie Thompson kind of adopted the tartan. It's still hand woven here. We still get it commercially woven as well. And then from there on it's just grew, and then we've made merchandise from this. I say, it just keeps going from strength to strength, and that's the story of a tartan. It's just really representative the fruit growing industry, as you know, because Blairgowrie is renowned for its berries. I think the berries has always been part of Blairgowrie and its history and its travelling traditions as well, with the travellers' berry time. Yeah, I think the Industrial Revolution did some great things for us, and we brought mills and brought industry, but it also started in the 21st century. Modern technology, cars and motorways, I think killed towns off. We lost the railway here, so you can't ship out the berries. When you look at the history of Blairgowrie and what we had here, approximately 16 mills at one point, all dotted along there, don't quote me on that. Fruit farms, railway connectivity, loads of hotels. Blairgowrie was once a bigger thriving place than it is now. And I think it's all economics, cultural shift, and just everybody's demand for fast, quick production we kind of lost it in the small towns.
So why do you do this? I mean, it must be a hard job to do.
I do this for therapy. There's no hard. It's hard, but it's not. I actually enjoy it. It's therapeutic. When you actually get into the weaving side of it, it's kind of very kind of rhythmic. I think the hardest part of this is setting up looms, finding the right colours for tartans, and actually making sure everything kind of blends and matches together. I have to design it first, so I would normally do that by hand, draw out a draft, figure out what the colours are going to be, find out the inspiration, so I'd take photographs of the landscape if it's landscape, see the client if it's possible, know the background, and get some information. You can't just suddenly come up with an idea of a tartan without knowing the background. Like the berries and cherries, instantly say berries and cherries, you know the colours kind of come from there, but then you've got to kind of think about ordering a punnet of fruit and eating it, and then your kind of colour comes to you. Like any other tartans, you do that, you find your source, then you kind of put it into a design, working out the geometric set. Some of my tartans and tweeds don't have any set regulation to it. It's just a linear design. Some of the designs I've done have hidden meanings in it.
Right, okay.
So the Hamish Henderson tartan,
Yes.
we did for the Hamish Henderson Festival last year, had 50 unique threads one side of the set, and then that represented its 100th centenary, adding 50 and 50. It's a lot about design process before we go into sourcing materials. So once we've got it all designed, we then take the colours from my basic computer screen. I have a colour book, I can show you later on. We look through it, it's like a catalogue of 90 odd colours. Normally we have all the colours on the shelf. I can choose it instantly. If I haven't got it, I'll have to order it in. It's sourced from Knoll yarn, so I use a Shetland super soft yarn, and that you buy down in Yorkshire. It's naturally sourced sheep with in the UK and Scotland, spun in Yorkshire. And again, don't get me started why we have to spin it in Yorkshire, and it has to be done there because of the Industrial Revolution issues and all the modern mill manufacturing shutting down. You get the process. Once I've ordered the yarns in could take a week or two. I will take the colours over to a warping mill. I'll spend about a day setting up the loom, setting up the pattern, and then it takes about a week or so to weave it. So there's kind of 101 different steps people don't tend to see.
Not anymore.
Yeah. I mean, even after it's finished, you've still got to wash it, press it, sew it, and then it's ready to be shipped out. So there's a few steps people kind of forget about it. And I think that's also the problem is the labour-intensive process of what I do. People haven't got the patience to wait sometimes. They do want to try and get it quicker and printed or designed faster. And with a tartan hand-woven, you can't get that. I have had a commission that took me a year and a half to complete. And that was for about 8 metres of cloth. Now, a manufacturer would get 80 metres off in about a month. It took me a year and a half. So, if you're willing to wait, you're going to get it. If you're not, I can point you into china.com or even, the borders. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of places you can get quick, fast cloth woven down in the borders, Scotland. But again, these are big companies. And if you just really want sourced, cheap Chinese tartan, go to Royal Mall in Edinburgh.
The term handcrafted and locally sourced gets thrown around a lot these days. Why is it important for people to shop locally? And even, why shop locally?
It's really important. I think supporting smaller local businesses, you actually get a more friendlier side. You can actually source the person who makes it. There's more of a connection to the story of the cloth I design and make. I know where I source my raw materials, so I'm not sourcing anything cheaply. I'm also fairly pricing things. You know you're supporting a local producer, and you know you're putting the money back into the community and into the farmer's pocket and not into a kind of mass-produced supermarket. I don't know, but so you can use the word handcrafted, but maybe it shouldn't be handcrafted, maybe it should be locally made or locally sourced, locally produced. Because everybody can say they've handcrafted something, and you still might find a little made in China label at the bottom. Now, obviously, times and shifted and things, and everybody wants fast fashion and quick made stuff, and we're getting kind of pushed out the market. I think there's a resurgence now for people to come back to craft.
Yeah, I mean, I remember a few years ago, before I started to go travelling, I remember seeing there was more so than now, there was many businesses closing their doors in Blairgowrie High Street.
Yeah.
And nowadays, I think it's lovely to see the effort and the focus on being locally sourced and being responsible and encouraging people to be more sustainable in their business practices. It's really, really amazing to see that there's a significant reduction in people closing their businesses in Blairgowrie.
I think trying to get people to realise that if you pick somebody smaller, you're guaranteed, I think, a better quality, but you know the history and story behind the thing you're getting made. And instead of picking up your lampshade from IKEA, pick it up at a craft shop, and you might be able to find the crafter who made it.
If you shop in a big supermarket, then that money goes out of the economy as quickly as it comes in. Whereas if you shop with people like you, and maybe you're here visiting on holiday, and you want to take something back, and I think it's common sense that the best thing you probably could take back is something that was handcrafted and locally produced, because that's a memory in itself. You know, you've got years and years of experience, and all of that has been woven into your tartan, and people get to take that away with them, and that, I think, is priceless.
Although the factories and mills have long since come down, Blairgowrie's history with craftspeople remains. Peek through the window of an open studio and you'll find all manner of designers, artists and craftspeople. Someone like Ashleigh Slater of Tartan Caledonia. Inspired by his town, Ashleigh specialises in unique, one-of-a-kind tartan that juxtapose natural patterns with the vibrant colours of the landscape. His work clearly embodies the spirit of nature, the 18th century textile mills, and of course carries the spirit of Scotland. If you're coming through Blairgowrie, go and visit my friend Ashleigh. Tell him Kyle sent you, because even if the weather isn't good, I promise you, being in his presence will make your day.
Thank you very much for having me today. I really appreciate it. I think I feel deeply honoured to be able to be a part of your story, sharing your story with people who want to come and visit the towns in the Shire. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, all right. So the next time you're travelling, slow down a little, visit the locals and experience the magic that could only be found in the local towns and shires across Scotland. You don't have to come here. Just simply put the phone down, get on a bus, even if it's just to visit your granny. I promise you, there's magic to be found in that too.